In the last video, I showed you how to create this 3D model in Autodesk Inventor. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create drawing views and dimensions of this 3D model in Autodesk Inventor. To start, we need to create a new file, and that file we do not need IPT file for it. We will need to use the IDW file. To start, we can click here, New. We can click here, standard.idw, and create. Or you can click on the Home button and click on Drawing. Both of them will bring you to the same place. Now, this drawing, the size of this drawing is D size, and we are going to use the C size, so we have to change it. And what we can do is to right click here on the sheet, edit sheet, from D to C, and OK. So now this drawing is size C's drawing. You can see that in here as well. The next step is to bring in the 3D model in here and to copy the views of the 3D model. So what we can do is to use base view. What happened now is that because I had the 3D model open, so it will show it in right here, and also the link of that in here. If you didn't have this open, you will need to click here to find that 3D model and open it. Now, this view in here, we can also make more views around this view. So if I move the cursor up, you will see the rectangle. This allows me to create a top views for it. Click here and move this cursor to the right. It will allow me to make a side view for it. So I click here and I can do that at an angle. It would make a isometric view for it. When you are done, right click, OK, or click here, OK. So this is the views. We created 4 views for it. Now we can make changes on the views, very minor changes. Right click, edit view. We can make this shaded. We can also, let's repeat it, we can also hide all the hidden lines if needed to. Or let's go back to the original. Or we can add something called tangent edges. What this means is that, see this line? That's where this straight line touching the curve, and there should not be a sharp edge. So because there is no noticeable lines, they make it a tangent edges to it. So you know there is a fine connection in between. So right now I say OK, and you can see this is added, this is added, this is added, this is added. So these are not a hard edge, it's just a tangent edges. Now the next step is to create the sectional views. So section, I can click on this view because I need to make section of this view. So I click on it. I have to find the center lines. So this is my good center lines. So what you have to do is to move the cursor around to find the center points. This is my center point, and move this to the left. Click, move to the right, click, and you do not want to click again. You can leave it as this is. The third, the fourth, the fifth lines, if you keep clicking, it is not good for a full sectional view. It's good for the half section view or an offset section view. So in this case, in a full section view, just like this, these two, when you're done with that one line, right click, continue. And then you can place the sectional views. So in this case, I'm going to place it in the bottom, just copying the view. Click here. I'm going to repeat that. So section view, click here. So find the center point. I'm going to use this as my center point. Move up, click, move down, click again, right click, continue. Again, because it's a full section view, so I just need one line. And I'm going to place that section in here. The next step is to make a detail view of here. So I'm going to create a detail view in here, detail. I'm going to create from this view, click here, this view. Now I have to make a circle. So I have to click on somewhere in here, click this point, and slowly move away. So I create a circle. Now this is the new view that I created, and you can change the scale. So in this case, I'm going to change it to 3:1. So I have this drawing. Now it's a little close. So what we can do is to space them out better. So I can space everything out better. Now the next step is to add the dimensions. We do not have to create all the dimensions again because we already did the dimensions in the sketch from the last videos. So what we have to do is to bring those dimensions into this drawing. So let's start with this view. Right click on the view, retrieve model annotations, and you will see all these dimensions. All you have to do is to select them all. Either you select one by one or make a window and select them all. Apply. I can repeat this in here. See, these two dimensions is shown. I can repeat that in here. Apply. Click here. Apply. So basically, I can create all these dimensions without creating them. So for the extra dimension that I need to use, see, for example, this one, I want to create these dimensions just like here. I want to create these two dimensions because these dimensions are it's not because they're not there, because it was used in here. So once they're used, you're not going to bring it again. What you have to do is to create them. So you can click here, annotate dimension, click on these 2 points, then you can find this is 0.75, okay, repeat that, 0.5, okay. Now I have one more. I want to make this dimension in here, and this dimension in the 3D model, this was drawn, there was a thread command applied on this in this hole, and that thread we already assigned the thread size. So all you have to do now is to call this node, the hole and thread node, and click on this line, and now you will get the thread size on that for that hole. Now let's clean up this drawing a little bit more. You can see that this is not supposed to be there because there's no hole in here. The hole should be for this, and because it's already a hole, that's for this reason, for this thread, so it's a 1/4 inch, you do not need to put it in here. So all you have to do is to delete it. Right now this hole and thread is still active, so I have to terminate it by pressing escape, and I can click on this dimension, delete, and I'm going to move these dimensions around so that it is better. The idea is that you do not want the dimension crossing each other. Okay, that's pretty good. Now there are more things you can add on the dimensions because these are all 2 decimals. You can see that we can change it to 3 decimals like this. So they're all 3 decimals. So how to do that is click on Manage, Style Editor, and you can see the dimensions and the default one, the default NC dimension. So you will need to change the format of this default dimension style, and the one that we are using right now is 2 decimals, just like here. So that's why it's 2 decimals. So the minute I change it to 3, save and close, then it will change everything to 3 decimal. Now if you take a look at this dimensions, it has a new dimension style, and that has a tolerance on it. So what we have to do is to create a new style and then apply to that dimensions. So what we have to do is in here, that's new, this default dimensions. I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to make a new and copy from here, and then I create this and then call it default NC tolerance. Okay, so this is a new style. This new style, we have to make changes in the tolerance. There are a couple of things you have to look at. So this is also a 3 decimal, so I'm going to change the precisions to 3 decimal. And then I'm going to use deviation 1000 on upper limit and 0 for the lower limit. And then save. Now it's not done yet. You already created that style. The next step is to assign the style into this dimension. So go to annotate, click on this dimension. You can see that this has changed. So what we have to do is to change that into the new style that we just created. So now it's created. So there are more changes in here. For example, manage, style. Let's go back to the ANSYS, the default one. You can change the arrow size. You can change the arrow size. Let's say I'm going to double it, almost double it. So once I create this new size, if I save and close, you can see all these arrow has changed. Also, you can change the font size. The font size is not in here. The font size is here. We use the notes. Let's say I double the size. Not this notes one. I'm going to do that again. The notes, the label. I'm sorry, the notes one. The 2.4. Save. So these are all changed to this new size. So this is the way you edit your drawing style. Now another thing you can see is to your title block. So this title block, you can enter more information to it. So you go to File, iProperties. In here you can enter more information in your drawing. So for example, I can make a title of this drawing is the connecting rod. And you can put your name, the company name, the part number, all these in here. So once you create it, it will automatically enter it in here. So this is how you create your drawing views.